Hello and welcome to GameRules.com. My name is Mark, and today I'm going to teach you how to play Sequence. Sequence is a board game for 2 to 12 players, in which each player or team is trying to build a sequence of 5 chips. You do this by playing a card from your hand and then placing a chip on the matching space. There are a couple more special rules to this, so let's dive in to my copy from 1992 and learn how to play. Out of the box, you're going to get the game board, a 104 card deck, and then you're going to get 3 different sets of chips: blue, green, and red. The blue and green contain more chips because those are used for games that only have 2 players or 2 teams. The red chips get involved when you're playing a game with 3 teams or 3 players. Now, the object of the game changes a little bit based on the player count. For a game with 2 players or 2 teams, it's the first player or team to score 2 sequences. And remember, sequences can go up and down, left and right, diagonally, and they can intersect. For a 3-player game or a game with 3 teams, you are going to only get 1 sequence, and the first person or team to do that wins the game. One thing you should know about the board is the 4 corner spaces are wild. No one's ever going to put a chip there, but it automatically counts as 1 chip towards your sequence, and more than 1 player can build off of that corner. All right, now setup for the game can get a little hairy if you get too in the weeds about player count and where they're sitting and all that. So let's just say for a 2 or 3 player game, you're going to give each player their chips, and then you're going to deal the correct number of cards based on the player count. For a 2-player game, you're going to deal out 7 cards to each player, and for a 3-player game, you're going to give each person 6 cards. Now, if you're going to play in teams, then you're going to have to alternate how you sit based on how many teams there are. So if there are 2 teams, you need to sit green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, because those are the chips you're going to use for a 2-team game. If there are going to be 3 teams, then you need to sit green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red. And again, this accommodates up to 12 players, and you can choose how to play. You can play with 3 teams of 4, or you could play with 2 teams of 6. There's a lot of options there, and really it just comes down to preference. So play begins with the player seated left of the dealer. They will choose 1 card from their hand and play it to their personal discard pile. Then they will take a chip and place it on the matching space. There are 2 spaces for each card in the deck. If all of those spaces are covered with chips already, then you will declare that card a dead card, and you'll replace it with a new one from the draw pile. Then you will take your turn like normal. So you want to pay attention, know which cards in your hand are dead, and you're going to want to get them out of your hand as quickly as possible. Now, of course, there's a caveat to that rule, because in this game, there are special powers given to the jacks. The 2-eyed jacks are wild, meaning you can use them to place a chip on any card space. Also, the 1-eyed jacks are what's called anti-wild, and that means if you play a 1-eyed jack to your discard pile, you get to remove a chip of your choice from the board. So maybe a card that you have in your hand is dead for now, but you're able to make it come alive again by removing a chip from the board, freeing up that space. Once you've played your card and placed your chip, you need to end your turn by drawing a replacement card. You'll never have more than the starting number of cards in your hand. However, if you forget to draw and the next player completes their turn and draws to end their turn, then you've missed your chance. You do not get to draw that replacement card, and now you're going to play the rest of the game with fewer cards than everybody else. That's sort of a mean rule, but it keeps you on your toes and makes the game a little more exciting. And that's it. Play like that continues until 1 player or team has reached the correct number of sequences to win the game. Now, it's important to remember if you're playing in teams, there can be no table talk. You're not allowed to coach your teammates or tell them if they're messing up. You can't say anything. And if you do, every member of your team has to discard 1 card from their hand and then play with fewer cards for the rest of the round. Now that's Sequence. And as I said at the beginning of the video, this is my copy from 1992. The rules haven't changed. Nothing's changed. Any updated version that they've published here recently, it's just been given a fresh look. There are a few different versions of the game you can get. There's like Sequence Kids, Sequence Animals, and there are a few Sequence adjacent games like Sequence Dice and Sequence Stacks that harness the same principle of building a sequence, but it plays a little differently. If you'd like to learn how to play more board games, I got a playlist for you right here. And if you'd like to help the channel out and support the channel, the best thing you can do is subscribe, ring the bell, and give a thumbs up. If you'd like to go the extra mile, leave a comment down below. All those little things really help us out by getting these videos out in front of more people. And we want more people to play games and learn how to play games and understand the rules for the games they buy. Well, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep on playing.